Dang, is this gonna be a three-parter? I don't want this to be a three-parter. It might be a three-parter. Oh gosh, this is out of hand. This is out of hand. Okay, you guys, welcome back. I hope you are ready for part 2 of my palette collection. I'm just going to try and fly through and show you as many of these palettes as I can. Part 1 was like longer than I wanted to be, but I'm going to go ahead and just jump in and get started. So let's go ahead and get started with the first set of palettes. Okay, so this next set of palettes that I'm going to talk about is from BH Cosmetics. So let's just start grabbing and move along. First palette is It's My Ray Ray palette. This palette is gorgeous. It has contour, highlight, as well as eyeshadows and a nice mirror in here. But these are the colors that are in this palette. I really like this palette a lot. I need to use it more than I actually do because this contour in here is popping and so are the highlights. So that is It's My Ray Ray from BH Cosmetics. Next, I have my BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette that came out not too long ago. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. Love it. I love the look that I created with it. And it's very pigmented and very pretty. And you can probably catch this on sale on the BH Cosmetics website any given Sunday, okay? Because you know BH Cosmetics be having some sales. Okay, also I have here one of the Glam Reflection palettes. So I only got 3 of them. I think there are 4 or 5. This one is Gilded, which is really pretty. Gold, so this one has the gold theme to it. And this is what the Gilded palette looks like. Very pretty. So if you want to do any type of like gold or bronzy type looks, nice basic smoky eye, this is your palette. Next, I have the L'Amour from the same palette collection. And this one has more of like the reds and pinks, I believe. This is what the casing looks like, very pretty. And this is what the shadows look like. So that is the L'Amour palette. And I'm trying to put these back in the box before I put them to the side because that's less work for me to do later. And the last one that I have is the Smoke, which comes in the silver packaging, very pretty. And this is what this palette looks like. And this one is actually my favorite because of the blues, but I do need to play around in this more because I'm not that sure on the quality, but the blues is what got me for this one. And this video is not a declutter or what am I getting rid of, because I'm not getting rid of none of my palettes. Zero, none. I'm keeping all of my palettes, okay? So anywho, next I have the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, which is really pretty. This is what the box looks like, and this is what the colors look like. This palette was a little bit disappointing to me because you would expect this palette to be just screaming and popping with pigment, and it is not. This palette does take a little bit of work along with a white base to really get the colors that you want from it. Next, I have my Carly Bible. This is what the packaging looks like. I'm sure everyone is familiar with this palette by now. This is actually the deluxe edition, so it's a little bit larger than the original Carly Bible. So this is what it looks like. It has the beautiful highlights in there, the nice basic warm earth tone shadows in here. So that is that. Next, I have the Club Tropicana 28 Color Foiled Eyes eyeshadow palette. And this palette is really pretty. Honestly, I don't think I've used it yet. I know I've swatched it, but I don't think I've actually created a look with it yet. But this is what this one looks like, the Tropicana. So it is very pretty. Very pretty. And like I said before, I don't know why I keep the boxes to all my palettes. I know it takes up more space and I really don't need to, and it's a hassle always having to put them back in the box, but I'm a freak like that. I also have the Special Occasion 39 color eyeshadow and blush palette, and this is what that looks like. I used this one time. It kind of has a little bit of sentimental value because I used it in a video with my sister-in-law. We both used this palette to create like a basic smoky eye, and that video was like super duper fun if you want to check it out. But this is what this palette looks like. So this is a great travel palette because it has a lot of different colors and shades and stuff that you could use from this palette. So this palette is a little bit special to me. Next, I have my Modern Mattes palette. And you know, all the BH Cosmetics, well, not all of them, but a lot of the basic BH Cosmetic multiple shadow palettes come in this plastic container with a clear top, which I actually like because you can see what's in there. So this is the Modern Mattes palette, 28 colors. And all of these are matte shadows. I'm not sure, I don't think I've used this. I might have used it once. I think the quality on these shadows is basic, you know, it's decent. Not anything to write home about. This is Foiled Eyes, and I think this is the original Foiled Eyes palette. Before it came out, before the Tropicana one. So this one has like the shimmer shadows in it as well. And so this one is just the original Foiled Eyes. This is Smoky Eyes, 28 color eyeshadow palette. And this one, it looks like they're all matte, but there could be some shimmers in there. But it looks like a lot of matte shadows in here. So this is the 28 color Smoky Eyes from BH Cosmetics. Very pretty, just your basic eyeshadow palettes. Next, I have my Zodiac palette. This palette is thebomb.com, you guys. You want to talk about pigment, color selection, I love this palette, and I only used it once. There's a mirror in here, but this is what this palette looks like. Let me see if I can take this plastic off. Okay, this is what this palette looks like, you guys. And it's funny because it doesn't look like this palette as much. It's like, it don't look like anything to write home about. But this palette is the business, okay? It's the business. And like I said, I only used it once, but that one time I used it, I tore it up. So that palette is bomb. Another bomb palette is this BH Studio Pro palette. Very nice palette. This is a great palette if you like a lot of variety in one palette, but you're not like super duper crazy. So this is what this palette looks like. So as you can see, there's a lot of different colors in here, but it's not too crazy and too bright. It just gives you just enough variation in colors and shades to really, you know, have a nice variety of what you can do with an eye look. So this is actually a very nice palette to have from BH Cosmetics. You guys, I am so tired of talking right now. Okay, let's move on to Colourpop. Colourpop. So I have some palettes here from Colourpop. I have some of the Super Shock shadows. I have some of the Super Shock shadows as well, but I'm not dealing with individual shadows today. We're only dealing with palettes. So this is another bomb palette that I just picked up, the Shayla and Colourpop collection, and this is the Perception palette. Gorgeous if you haven't already seen it. This is what this palette looks like. I highly recommend it. This palette is the bomb. It's gorgeous, has a mirror, very nice quality, and the pigment is nice. Nothing to sneeze at. Femme Rosa. This was I think the Carucci in Colourpop She palette. This is what it looks like. This palette looks like it would be a lot more than it is. It looks like it would give you a really pretty, beautiful burgundy rose red look. If I had the chance to buy it again, I would not. So that's that. Next, I have the Dream Street palette, which is the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop collab. This is what the box looks like. Let me go ahead and show you what this palette looks like. This palette is actually popping. I really like this. Colors that she chose are very nice, pretty, and unique. You know, it's just a very nice, beautiful, unique type palette. If you like those pretty like deep greens and that nice watermelon color, you know, it just reminds me of like a watermelon, and the nice golds and whatnot in here. I like it. It really is. It's just like a classy palette, and you know, I would use that if I just wanted to do something nice and classy. Next, I have the Element of Surprise palette, and I actually got another one of these palettes in my BoxyCharm, I believe, so I gave it away to a good friend because I already had one. This is what the palette looks like, and when I actually opened it up, I forgot that I had it. When I opened it up, I was like, ooh, snap, I need to use that. So this is what the inside of this palette looks like. Very pretty, very, very nice. I think that this palette, I actually would prefer to just have this instead of having the Carucci She or Femme Rosa palette, because that palette, like I said, it was a disappointment. It wasn't horrible. It didn't give me the pigment that I was looking for. Okay, you guys, so the last ColourPop palette that I have here that I'm going to show right now is the All I See Is Magic palette, and this is what it looks like. I got it around the holiday season. Honestly, I don't know why I bought this, because I mean, it's pretty, but I've never used it, and I don't know if I ever will. It's pretty. It's pretty, but it's another one of those palettes where it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It might just go in my giveaway bin because I don't know. So anyway, let's move on. So that is it for ColourPop. Next, I want to look at some Coastal Scents. Now, I have 3 of the revealed palettes from Coastal Scents that I have never even opened. I bought these palettes. I was like, oh my gosh, I love them. I gotta have them. And never even opened them. So let's go ahead and just pop them open. Let's start with Revealed 2. I don't have the basic Revealed, I guess, because the ones that I have in my hand start with Revealed 2. So let me just show you what the Revealed 2 looks like. And they're just this basic cardboard packaging, nothing fancy. And I'm assuming that these are supposed to be dupes for the Naked palettes, maybe. So this is what the Revealed 2 looks like. And these palettes are really, really gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I don't know why I haven't used them yet. Probably the same reason I haven't used the other 100 palettes that I have, but I'll get around to it. And if I don't, some lucky winner will get this in a giveaway. So that is the Revealed 2. Let me show you the Revealed 3. Still have it in the bubble wrap here. So this is what the Revealed 3 looks like. Very, very pretty. And this is what this palette looks like. So this one is gorgeous as well. It looks like both of them have like some burgundy tones to them. Very, very pretty. So that is the Revealed 3, just in case you're curious. I know Coastal Scents, they have sales pretty often or pretty regular throughout the year as well. And the regular price on these, I think, is like $19.99, but when they're on sale, it's usually half price. So you can get them for like 10 bucks. This is the Revealed Smoky, and this one is gorgeous. So this one I definitely plan on using eventually because it has some really, really nice shadows in here to create a nice smoky eye. So those are some nice options of palettes from Coastal Scents. This is one that I picked up. This is the Fall Festival palette. It's just in a plain plastic backing. And you know what? Honestly, I don't even think these are the shades that came in this palette, because with Coastal Scents, you can pop their shades out and replace them. So honestly, I don't even know if these are the shadows that go in this palette because I have a tendency to move shadows around and stuff in palettes like this. So I couldn't even tell you if those are the actual shadows that came in that palette. This one here is the Smoky palette. Very, very cute. It's 36 small shadows from Coastal Scents, and it's called the Smoky palette. So this is actually a very nice palette to have for travel. It's nice and compact. It's not too big. It's not like your big, huge 35 palettes, but it packs a lot of punch with all of those colors. These are a couple of palettes that I created on my own from Coastal Scents. If you're not familiar with Coastal Scents, you can actually pick out each individual shadow that you want, buy these palettes, and place them in the palettes. So these are just individual shadows that I purchased on my own, either in the 99-cent sale or the $1.99 regular price for these, and just filled up a couple of palettes with some beautiful bright colors that I never use. And lastly, from Coastal Scents, I have this 26 shadow blush palette. And I said I wasn't going to talk about blush or contour palettes or whatever, but it's in the stack. So this is what this palette looks like. So it's basically an eyeshadow and blush palette. Very basic, very simple if you like these type of shades. Very basic palette. So, you know, it's just a blush palette. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to some really inexpensive palettes that I purchased from Amazon. Every blue moon I'll go on Amazon and I will actually check out what kind of makeup they have on there, see if they have any sales on some inexpensive makeup, just because I want to test it out and see the quality. So I got these two palettes off of Amazon. These are from a company called Beauty Glazed, which kind of broke into the scene with some of their inexpensive dupe type palettes. This one is Beauty Glazed Rose Gold Edition. This is what the outside of the packaging looks like. And honestly, I think this is supposed to be another dupe for the Huda Beauty. This palette really does not come close to the Shop Hush dupes in my opinion. I don't think the quality is there. I feel like they tried but didn't quite hit the mark. So this one is the Beauty Glaze. I feel like if you're gonna try and buy a dupe for the Huda Beauty, that you should just go ahead and purchase the Shop Hush dupes. This one is called I Got You edition from Beauty Glazed, and the packaging is really pretty. It's very thin cardboard, and this one I believe is supposed to be, you know, the dupe for the other Huda Beauty palette. So that is this one, and like I said, the quality is not at all the same as the Shop Hush dupes, so I would pass on those. This one is from Beauty Glazed as well. This one is the Burgundy palette. I believe I had a purple palette as well, but I think I gave it away. This one has shadows like this, very pretty, and I actually think that I know I used the purple one. Not sure if I used this one yet or not, but the purple one, the quality was actually quite nice, to tell you the truth. So with these palettes, I think these are supposed to be Kylie dupes. They actually worked out fairly nicely. Next, I got this You Can Be Molten Rock Heat, which of course obviously is supposed to be a dupe for the Naked Heat palette. I have not used this yet. It actually has like a decent brush in here and a mirror, but this is what this palette looks like. So I couldn't tell you about the quality on here because I have not used it yet, but this is what this palette looks like on the inside. And now that I actually have the real Naked Heat, this actually might be a giveaway because I already have the dupe from Shop Hush. So that might be a giveaway. Next, I have the Delancey Pro eyeshadow palette. It's a nice long palette. I saw this on Amazon, and this one is cruelty free, and I just felt like it was gorgeous. There's a palette in here. Of course, it's a palette. There's a mirror in here, and of course, as you can see, these colors are absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully my camera is focused. But these colors are what drew me into this palette, so I went ahead and ordered this from Amazon. Have not used it yet, but honestly I can't wait to use it. It is very pretty, and I like the fact that it's long. I like different shapes of palettes and whatnot, so that is a nice long palette. Next, I have my two Jacob and Eli palettes that I got from Amazon. I have the Candy Peaches, which is this one here. And I have not used these palettes yet. This is what they look like, and this is what the inside looks like. Very, very pretty for a gorgeous peach look. And this one is the Hidden Gems. So let me show you what this one looks like. Packaging looks the same outside, except it doesn't have the gold, it has like purple. And this is what the inside of this palette looks like. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are like, girl, you ain't gonna never use all them palettes. You know what? I might not. And if I don't, then it's better for you guys because I'm just going to end up giving them away. So next I have another palette from Beauty Glaze. This one I actually saw come out not too long ago, maybe a couple of months ago. And it's called the Must Have palette. And I was like, oh, okay. If it's a must have palette, I guess I must have it. So these are the shadows in this palette. And once again, these are all from Amazon. And this one is from Beauty Glazed, the Must Have palette. Okay, another one from Beauty Glazed is the Impressed You palette. And I think a lot of people are familiar with this palette as well. And like I said, Beauty Glazed is cruelty free. This is another controversial type palette because you can look at it and tell what this is a dupe for. This is a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill. I have not used this, so I couldn't tell you on the quality. I should probably do a comparison video, huh? Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll do a comparison video on this and the Jaclyn Hill just to see on the quality. So that is that. Lastly, from Amazon, I purchased this Delancey palette. This is one of the first palettes that I purchased when I started YouTube over a year ago. I was looking for cheap makeup to kind of bulk up my makeup collection, and I started out because everyone was talking about the 350 palette from Morphe and this, that, and the third, and I was like, ooh, I need to find me a dupe or something with those colors in it. So I purchased this palette from Delancey, and I think I might have used it once or twice, and that's it. So I probably should use it again just to check out the quality now compared to other palettes that I have collected since then. But yeah, that is that palette. Out of hand. Okay, so let me go ahead and just move on. I'm just gonna start grabbing some other palettes because I don't know what I want to look at next. Okay, so earlier I talked about the dupe for the Kat Von D Divine palette, the one that Shop Hush has. This is the actual Kat Von D Divine palette, and I did just do a comparison video with those two palettes, but this is the actual Divine palette here. Very, very pretty from Kat Von D. Kat Von D. Next, I have this Urban Decay Kristen Leanne palette, and I actually have not used this yet. I think I just swatched it when I saw it in the store and I purchased it. I believe it was on sale. This is what the actual palette looks like. I just thought it was really cute, very unique. There's a mirror in here and a brush, but these are the colors in this palette. It's a little bit offsetting. I don't really typically care for palettes that have the shadows in weird shapes and in weird places and stuff, but for some reason I really liked the colors in here, and when I swatched it, it was very pigmented, so I went ahead and bought it. Not to mention it was on sale. So even though I don't really care for the shape and placement of the shadows, it was on sale, so I bought it. Another palette that I just used is my Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. Another palette that is very popular here, and I know everyone's familiar with what it looks like. This, you know, the bright shiny packaging with the nice scrunched detail, and the palette with the mirror in the middle, so it's very hard to show without blinding you. But this is what this palette looks like. Very pretty.
Jesus, fix it, fix it. I got too many palettes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about some of these Juvia's Place palettes. Juvia's Place. Can I get in focus, please? Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about some of these Juvia's Place palettes because you know your girl got some Juvia's Place. So the first one I want to talk about is this Magic. Well, that I want to show you. I'm not going to talk about it. But this is the Magic palette, which is a very large palette. These are the colors in this palette, and if you're familiar with Juvia's Place, you know they always have the beautiful artistry. But these are the colors in the Magic palette. As you can see, I have not used this palette yet. I don't think. No, you know what? I did use it. I did. Yes, I did. So these are the colors in the Magic palette. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm hoping some of you who are watching this video that are like me and have a pretty decent amount of eyeshadow palettes are kind of looking and like, oh my gosh, I forgot I have that palette. Yes, I need to use that palette. Where is my palette? And so this is the Masquerade palette. Gorgeous, beautiful, bright pink palette with the beautiful artistry on there. And this is what this palette looks like on the inside. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. If you know anything about Juvia's Place, their palettes are jam-packed with beautiful color. I'm actually right now waiting on their latest palette. I can't even think of the name of it. Their latest palette to arrive in the mail to me, which is their most basic non-colorful palette ever. But I went ahead and purchased it because you know how to add it to my collection. This is the Festival palette by Juvia's Place. Gorgeous. This is what the inside of the Festival palette looks like. Very, very pretty. Very, very bright. This is the Nubian 2, and I think this might have been the first palette that I actually purchased from Juvia's Place because I don't have the box and it is a little bit beat up and dinged up from me using it. So this is the Nubian 2, and I don't have every single Juvia's Place palette because there are a few palettes from Juvia's Place that I didn't really care for or I didn't feel like I needed, so I didn't buy them. This one is the Saharan. It's gorgeous purple packaging. This is one of my favorites. This is what the Saharan looks like. And this is the Zulu. And this is what the Zulu looks like inside. Very bright, colorful, kind of reminds me of like festival type makeup. So this one is absolutely gorgeous as well. And then from Juvia's Place, I do have two of their blush palettes. So let me go ahead and show you the Saharan Blush Volume 1. And this is what that palette looks like. Really pretty teal shade. And this is what the Volume 1 blushes look like. And there is highlighter in here as well. And this is what the Saharan Blush Volume 2 looks like. Much softer shades of blush. But still very, very pretty. Okay, you guys, so that is going to be it for my part 2 of my palette collection because these videos are getting super long, so I'm going to go ahead and split them up. So I'm going to go ahead and do part 3 next so I can get this all done in one day. And that should be the last part of my eyeshadow palette So thank you so much for watching part 2. If you didn't check out part 1, make sure you check out part 1 if you're interested. And also look out for part 3. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Toodles!